and they join me now. I want us to just get an understanding, lady and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on The Explainer tonight, what this lower inflation rate means. 2.7% is a number we haven't seen in over a decade, Kwame. When we talk about 2.7% inflation rate for October, what does that mean?
Okay, thanks. So let's first understand how inflation is measured. So inflation is measured through what is called the Consumer Price Index, which is a common basket of 300 items or so that Kenyans buy. And then the the National Bureau of Statistics goes in on the second and third week of the month and takes prices around about 50 or so markets around the country to find the price change from one month to the other.
Yeah.
So what the CPI means when it says a 2.7% inflation rate for this month, it means compared to last year in October, inflation, the same basket of goods cost 2.7% more.
Okay.
So what that means is that it has risen by 2.7% more comparing this month to the same month the previous month.
Okay.
The important thing about that is when interpreting inflation numbers, we need to understand the difference between inflation reduction, a reduction in inflation, and a price change. So an inflation reduction means you're comparing percentage for percentages, how much was bread last year at the same time. That does not necessarily mean that the price of bread has reduced. It only means that last year, at the same time, it went up by 6%. This year, it went up by 2.7%. Okay. But they're still rising. Okay. No, and you've done a fantastic job. You explained your own question by showing that in those same years, so it's telling you that while everybody is trumpeting that fuel is cheaper, today, or rather the inflation has risen. Today's fuel in 2024 in October is still more expensive than the fuel we had in 2022.
Right. I'd just like us to bring up that graphic to talk about what you were saying. The price of fuel. This is the first one. I think it's slide 2A that talks about the price of petrol. So you can get an understanding that in this month of 2024, we are paying more for petrol than we did in September 2022. 2 years ago.
Yes, but the inflation rate has come down. It's because the rate at which the price has been changing has reduced because you're comparing month for month, but the price itself is still going
increasing.
Up. And that's an important significance. If you add this to the fact that you've also shown that incomes are going, so the price has gone up and incomes are also less, it means the buying power of the Kenyan is still weaker. And that's the point.
So there's perhaps going to be some excitement over these numbers. What other metrics should we be looking at? 2.7, like he's explained, just shows there's an increase in the price, just that the increase of the price is lower. But in your view, when you hear 2.7%, what does that tell you?
For me, I want to look at things like the unemployment rate. Is that increasing or reducing? And looking at some of those numbers from KRA that you were showing, you can definitely see that there continues to be challenges in terms of maybe the level of pay-as-you-earn collection. The level of VAT collection also means that there is a reduced consumer demand. Also, you see that people are really cautious about spending. So you will see that people are not spending as because of the increase in we've had a lot of taxes and levies that have been added in the last 2 years onto salaries. So you find that people are less willing to spend a lot more. So as you've said, yes, the rate at which are increasing has reduced to the 2.7, but that concern about can I really spend? If you're a small business person, can I really employ another person? You don't feel comfortable, because even as we're sitting here today, we've been told that there are measures, the tax measures that have been submitted to Parliament to raise an additional 170 billion. So if I'm an employer, I'm not going to go out there and hire another 10 people
when I can see what's
coming. And if I don't hire those 10 people, then one, my production is down. I'm not paying these people. I can't increase salaries. The consumer demand is decreases low because there is not enough what you call cash to spend.
Okay.
Yes.
And what is that is coming? Just, very briefly from you, Solomon. We didn't get the Finance Act 2024 for reasons that, we all know and understand in this country. But there is more coming in way of taxes.
Thank you, Yvonne. Really, if you think about it, if you look at what was proposed in the Finance Act 2024 and what is being included in the tax law amendment bill, it's largely the same. Some proposals are a bit controversial, such as motor vehicle circulation tax, and that had to be dropped, but had that a knock-on on increase in the fuel levy from 18 shillings to 25.
Yeah.
If I look at the tax law amendment bill, it seems to be pro-employee to some extent, because when you pointed out to the statistics, the income has just been going down.
Yeah.
Now, remember, shift started in October. So if I am to infer from those statistics, then I would expect that income would have gone down.
Yes,
further.
even more. Okay.
So that puts a serious strain on people's ability to spend. And if you put a strain on people's ability to spend, then that's why you see the 2.7%, because I don't have money to spend. Mm-hmm. And the general tenet around inflation is that if people have money to spend generally, you may reach a point where demand outstrips supply, and thus prices start going up.
Okay, all right. So we have much more to talk about to get an understanding beyond just one figure, to see what else is happening in the economy, to be able to understand just what that figure means. We're also inviting you, with your thoughts online. We'd asked, the rate of inflation has reduced, but are you feeling it? What's life like for you? What's the reality for you every day with, your spending? Do you have more money to spend? Is this something that you have experienced? My guests here with me will talk about this some more. Kwame Owino, who's an economist. Rose Mara, who's chair of the Public Finance Sector Board at KEPSA, that's the Kenya Private Sector Alliance. And Solomon Kihanga, who's a senior manager, tax and regulatory services at KPMG. That conversation continues here. The hashtag is The Explainer, at Yvonne Okwara at Citizen TV Kenya. We are back with that, but we want to take you back